Hello, everyone. Everyone be welcomed here at Portal Saber Espiritismo at the program To Know Spiritism. Today we are going to talk about another chapter of Chico Xavier's life. Chico Xavier's the Apostle of Love. Uh, we are welcoming everyone from the DSN, the Discovery Spiritism Network, everyone also from Kardec Radio, and also from Portal Saber Espiritismo in Belo Horizonte, Brazil. We were talking about the Chico Xavier work. Today is the sixth program about that. And we were talking about the narrative genre, and today we are going to extend our comments on that. Let's see another one, please. And we are now talking about other subclassifications of the narrative genre that we can find at Chico Xavier's work. Let's see what we got. One more. Okay, we can also find pocket books, small books with a thought or even a small text to help us. We can see such examples here in the next one, like the book Friend, Amigo in Portuguese, the book Brother, Irmão in Portuguese, Patience in Portuguese, Paciência, Hoje, Today, Faith, Fé, Apelos Cristãos, Christians, Thoughts, Aceitação e Vida, which is Acceptance and Life, the work Migalha, and also Iluminuras and Companheiro. All of them are pocket books that Emmanuel told Chico Xavier that the people at that time and even nowadays have so little time to read because they are always in a hurry to perform their duties at work with the family, so that Emmanuel, the guide, Chico Xavier guide, told him that he would write just small texts or thoughts to publish, and so that on the people could relate with those pocket books. And Chico himself was very fond of those pocket books. I myself at União Espírita Mineira, the Spiritist Federation of Minas Gerais, and at the Vinha de Luz Editora, we have been publishing those pocket books because Chico Xavier was very fond of them. Let's see another example of the narrative genre. Also, Chico Xavier published dictionaries. Yes, dictionaries. Let's see some of them. As you can see, the Dicionário da Alma, the Soul Dictionary, also Pérolas do Além, Pearls from Beyond, and Pérolas de Sabedoria, which is wisdom pearls. Those are kind of dictionaries that were published with some subjects, some small words and concepts that could be found easily. Let's see another example of other sub-classifications of the narrative genre. We can find lots of books in interviews. Chico Xavier was very devoted to respond to all kinds of interviews. Interviews from Spiritist journalists and also from journalists outside the Spiritism world. And Emmanuel himself would assist Chico Xavier by the intuition mediumship so that Chico Xavier would respond instantly to all the questions he was subject to. Let's see some of the examples of the interviews that he wrote. The most important one is the Consoler, O Consolador in Portuguese. The Consoler is a book of more than 400 questions that were subject to Emmanuel through Chico Xavier in Pedro Leopoldo in the late 30s. The book was published in 1941 by the Spiritist Federation of Brazil, FEB. Another important books on interviews, reportagens de além túmulo, reviews from beyond, from the spirit of Humberto de Campos, the one that everyone knows very much, which is Pinga Fogo, the transcript of the Pinga Fogo TV programs, the two programs that Chico Xavier was in two times in 1971 at TV Tupi from São Paulo, Channel 4. And the first program was on air for more than 4 hours and a half. And the second one, which was before Christmas in 1971, was on air for more than 5 hours and a half. And Chico Xavier was subject to all kinds of questions from all over Brazil that were, connected online, seeing the TV station, the TV Tupi Channel 4 station, and also the radio of Diários Associados, Associated Diaries at that time, listening attentionally to the response from Chico Xavier through his guide Emmanuel. There are two books on that. The first program, the book is called Pinga Fogo, and there is another one that is called. Let me see. I just forgot the name. The Plantão de Respostas, which is I really don't know the translation for that, but something with the answers. We have also other books like Luz Bendita, Blessed Light, Chico Xavier Pede Licença, Chico Xavier Excuse Himself, and The Bridge. This is a very important book, A Ponte in Portuguese, The Bridge in English. It is published now by the Spiritist Federation of Rio Grande do Sul state. It's a very important interview that was done by the Spiritist journalist Fernando Worm. He also wrote Janela para a Vida, Window for Life, in the same way. It was an extended interview with Chico Xavier. We have also the book Interviews, Entrevistas, that was done by Chico Xavier's doctor in Uberaba, Minas Gerais, Dr. Elias Barbosa. Very important book. I myself published in 1992 the work Chico Xavier, Mandato de Amor, Chico Xavier, Love Mandate, at União Espírita Mineira, the Spiritist Federation of Minas Gerais State, with lots of interviews with Chico. And our dear friend from Uberaba, Carlos Bacelli, annotated what Chico was saying after his meetings, his 3 public meetings in Uberaba, one at Friday night at Grupo Espírita da Prece, one Saturday afternoon at the Vila do Pássaro Preto, and also at the Abacateiro with the poor people, and the last one was Saturday night at Grupo Espírita da Prece in Uberaba. And after the meeting was closed, was done, Chico always was talking about some important subjects, telling us about his mediumship, his relationship with the spirits, and also sayings and teachings from the spirits. And Carlos Bacelli was to write it down, so that in the year 2000, in the very day of Chico Xavier's birthday, the April 2nd of the year 2000, he published this important book, O Evangelho de Chico Xavier, which in English is the Gospel of Chico Xavier, so that we can classify all those books as interviews and important interviews from the spirits through Chico Xavier in all kinds of subjects. Let's see the other one. You can see here the latest cover of the Consoler, published by the Brazilian Federation, FEB, Spirits Federation. This one was the first one published, as I told you, in 1941. Another kind of books from the narrative genre is the collections. Let's see what we've got. Sorry. The collections are the books that are very diversified. We can have all kinds of texts, narrative texts on those books, and the people that published them in the early ages of Chico Xavier's psychographic, and even afterwards, after his death, like myself at Vinha de Luz Editora, I published 2 of them, or even more, if we like Deus Conosco, which is lots of messages from the Spirit of Emmanuel, talking about the works that Chico Xavier was psychographing at that time in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And so that nowadays we can know exactly what the Spirit of Emmanuel was thinking about all those works, from the Spirit of André Luiz, his own works as his romances, and also the works of the poets, the work of the poets through Chico Xavier, the work of Humberto de Campos, and other spirits as well. We also published the Sementeira de Luz, the Soul of Light, which is the spirit of Neo Lúcio, the Professor Arthur Joviano, when he every week at the Gospel at Home at Doctors Rômulo Joviano, which was Chico Xavier's boss at the Fazenda Modelo in Pedro Leopoldo, and every Tuesday night and every Wednesday night they had their gospel at home, and they would invite Chico Xavier to be present at their gospel at home, and Chico Xavier would psychograph. So we know nowadays that for 18 years, Chico Xavier psychographed messages from the spirit of Neo Lucio, which was the father of Dr. Romulo Joviano, and also the spirit of Emmanuel, the spirit of militaries related to the family that were residing at the spiritual world, and also poetry that would come and write in those gospels at home. The first book of Neo Lucio is Sementeira de Luz, the Soul of Light. The second one is Sementeira de Paz, the Soul of Peace. And the third one is Colheita do Bem, which is the blossom of goodness. There are other books in the early ages of Chico Xavier works. The first one is Palavras do Infinito, Words from Infinity. There are Novas Mensagens, New Messages from the Spirit of Humberto de Campos. There are this one, Coletânea do Além, which is collections from beyond. There are also the Nosso Livro, our book, and the important one, this one is very important, Falando à Terra, talking to Earth. Those spirits that wrote through Chico Xavier in his two trips to the United States in 1965 and 1966. They were all non-Brazilian spirits, and they wrote in Portuguese through Chico Xavier mediumship to talk about the mission of Brazil and the mission of Spiritism. We can relate all those books as collections because they have different approaches to the messages that were written. Let's see what we've got in the next one. The works in other languages. Very few people know that Chico Xavier had a kind of mediumship that we call the mediumship of languages. And he wrote in English, he wrote in French, he wrote in Hebrew, he wrote in Sanskrit, he wrote in Spanish, and also in Italian. Chico Xavier was a very versatile medium, and some of those works were also published, as you can see in the next one, please. Entre Irmãos de Outras Terras, it's the work also that Chico Xavier received in the United States and also in Europe when he traveled to Europe in the 60s. The name in English is Between Brothers from Other Lands. And there is one work that Chico Xavier psychographed in New York and New Jersey in 1965. It was published by the New York Library in the 17th of May 1966, and the title is The Word of the Spirit. So very little examples of these books still present up to this day because unfortunately the publishing house did not publish it again. So we only have this edition of 1966, and I have the good I'm very fortunate to have one example of this book that was that had Chico Xavier words to my grand aunt Nair, and she gave it to me. Okay, let's see what we've got. And we now are entering the lyric genre, but I'm going to stop here and finish this presentation so we can talk about the lyric genre in the next program. So I thank you so much for being here with me, and I invite you to continue to see this study on Chico Xavier work every week from now on. Thank you so much from Belo Horizonte. I hope I can see you again with us.